Okay, good morning. Today we're going to get ourselves started on section 11.5, which is going to be the last section for this chapter. And what we're going to finish with is a new type of sequence called a recursive function. And just a quick review, just to kind of put things back in your head. We've had a couple of special types of functions. One special type of function we've had was called arithmetic. And the idea with an arithmetic sequence was that, the difference of consecutive terms was always constant. So if I gave you as an example something like 2, 9, 16, 23, 30, and so on, the idea was you take any consecutive terms and subtract, you always got the same thing. So 30 minus 23, 23 minus 16, 16 minus 9, 9 minus 2, and so on. But where those terms came from was originally by putting in the number 1 into a formula and getting out 2, putting in 2 and getting out 9, putting in 3 and getting out 16, putting in 4, getting out 23, putting in 5, getting out 30, and so on. And if anybody's curious, the sequence that we could use for this one, there's more than one correct answer, but the sequence that we could use here is, 7n minus 5, right? Again, the idea was that we put in the counting numbers, so these again are called counting numbers, and we get out the terms in the sequence, okay? Essentially, the same thing happened with geometric. It's just that the equation or the formula was a little different. As an example, let's do a nice easy one. So if we had something like 2 times 3 to the n, something like that, or n minus 1, if we match it up like we normally do. And then the terms, when we put in 1 for n, we're going to get out, 2 for n, we're going to get out, 3 for n, we're going to get out, and so on. What we'd get out as a result then for the term numbers, when I put in 1, 2 times 3 to the 1 minus 1 is 0. When I put in 2, 2 times 3 to the 2 minus 1 power is going to be 6, and then so on. And what we end up with, let's see, what would that last one be? 162, and so on. But the idea again is that we put in the counting numbers. We put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we get out. We put those into some formula equation, and we get out the terms. Okay? Well, in this last section, when we're looking at recursive functions, we are not going to be using, let me write this out, for recursive sequences and functions, we're not going to be using, so we're not going to use the counting numbers to input into our equations. So we're not going to be putting in the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and seeing what comes popping out of an equation. What we do instead with recursive functions or sequences is the domain values that we put in are instead previous, sorry, that's messy. There we go. What we put in instead are previous terms. Okay? So instead of automatically putting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 every single time, what we do instead is we use a previous term. Okay? And what we mean by that is if we were trying to find the third term in a sequence, what we have to do is use the previous term, which would be the second term. If we were trying to find the 8th term, to get to the 8th term, you have to use the one that came right before that, the previous term, so you'd have to use the 7th term. In a recursive function, you always have to use the terms that come before. Always have to use the terms that come before. Okay? So our equations are going to look a little strange because instead of automatically using the counting numbers, we're going to be using the terms that come before. So here's an example of one. So what we could write then is that our equation would be a sub n is equal to, and here's a specific example, 3 times a sub n minus 1 plus 4. Okay? Now, what that means is, to get to, as an example, the second term, and I know I'm skipping one, but just go with the flow for a second. To get to the second term, what you're going to have to do is multiply 3 times the first term and then add 4. The idea is that, let me choose a different color here, this subscript is one smaller than that, right? So to get to any term down the road, you have to use the one that comes before it. So to use the second term, we have to apply the first. And of course, that means to get to the third term, we have to multiply 3 by the second term, again, the one that comes before it, and then add 4. To get to the fourth term, we're going to have to multiply 3 times the third term and add 4. Continue to give you the arrows here. And for the heck of it, I've got room for one more. So to get to the fifth term, we'd have to multiply 3 times the fourth term and add 4. And again, let me put in the arrow. Okay? So instead of automatically using the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to put in, what we have to do is always use the previous term. Now because of that, there's one extra thing about recursive sequences and the functions, and that is that you have to be then told a starting value. You have to be told a starting value. So in this problem, I'm just going to start you off with a nice simple number like 2. I'm just going to start you off with something like 2. Right? So this, let me highlight it in a different color. This starting value is going to have to be given to you for every single problem. That's going to have to be given to you on every single problem. So it's not something you come up with on your own. You're going to be given a starting value. But once you have that, that's your first term. Now to get to the second term, we take 3 times the previous term plus 4. So now we put 2, the first term, in so that I can find the second term. So now 3 times 2 plus 4 is 10. Now to get to the third term, we replace a sub 2 with what it's equal to. A sub 2 is equal to 10. So now 3 times 10 plus 4 is 34. To get to the fourth term, we multiply 3 times the third term plus 4. But we now know what the third term is. So I can multiply it, and I'm going to use my calculator to make sure I don't screw that up. 3 times 34 plus 4 is a 106. And finally, to get to the fifth term, we have to multiply 3 times the fourth term and add 6. So 3 times 106 plus 4 is 322. And so like usual, we could then get to the first 4, the first 5, the first 6, however many you need, terms in a recursive sequence. Okay, so this is how the recursive functions are given to us. They're always given in terms of the previous. They're given to us in terms of the previous terms. So again, you have to be told a starting value. You have to be told a starting value. All right? Like always, feel free to pause the video if you need to get something down into your notebook or on your note card. Okay? All right. Let's just work through a couple more examples. How about if our recursive function would look something like this? How about a sub n is equal to a sub n minus 1 squared? And let's maybe go minus, oh gosh darn, I don't know, 5 or something. Okay? Again, for a recursive sequence, we always have to be told the first term. For a recursive sequence, we have to be told the first term. Okay? So as an example, what if I were to give you, oh gosh darn, I don't know, what if I were to give you something like a -2? All right, just to start somewhere. Okay? Then the second term, a sub 2, is then going to be equal to a sub 1 squared minus 5. I don't know if you need the red arrows all the time or not, but To get to the second term, we have to use the first term. But the first term is now given to us, so we can replace a sub 1 with what it's equal to and do the subtraction, and we get out negative 1. And then to get to a sub 3, we have to use a sub 2, so that would then be a sub 2 squared. Again, this one is 1 smaller than that one. But we know what a sub 2 is. A sub 2 is equal to negative 1. So we can do the math. Negative 1 squared is 1, and 1 minus 5 is negative 4. I've got room for another one, so I'll get to the fourth term. To get to the fourth term, we have to square the third term and subtract 5. But the third term is negative 4. So negative 4 squared is 16, and 16 minus 5 is 11. And just for the heck of it, let's go one more since I have room. The fifth term is then going to be equal to the fourth term squared minus 5. But the fourth term we already found is 11, so we put in 11 and do the math, and 11 squared minus 5 is going to be 116. So we're able to find the first 5 terms of the recursive sequence. So what we start with is called a recursive function, and then we're going to be finding the terms of the sequence, 4 or 5 or 6 or however many you want. Obviously, you can just keep this going forever and ever. But the key again, to get to every term in line, you're always using the ones that come before it, previous terms. And because of that, let me shrink this down just slightly. Because of that, there's no way to make a jump. Like if I wanted to take the sequence we have on the screen right now and make a jump to the 20th term, I can't do that the way it's written. Because to get to the 20th term, I need the 19th term, and I don't have that. But you might think, well, can I just get the 19th term? Sure, but then to get the 19th term, you need the 18th. And it just winds itself back until you get to terms you already know. So unfortunately, we're not able to make this jump like we were with arithmetic sequences and geometric sequences and a lot of the other just general sequences. We're not able to do that easily with recursive sequences. We're not able to do that easily. Okay? So that's just kind of the basics of arithmetic sequences. Righty? We're always just going to be using terms that come before. Terms that came before. Okay? So we'll do some more. In fact, how about if we do one more, just so you have a little variety. We haven't gone very long with the video, so another one isn't too bad. How about the following? How about if we had a sub n is just simply equal to 1/3 a sub n minus 1. So there's our recursive function equation. And then to get going, let's since I have room, let's just do the first 5 again. All right, because that fits on the screen pretty well. Right? But again, with the recursive sequences, we always have to be told the first value. Okay? So if I were to give you, oops, I hit the wrong button there. Sorry, guys. All right, so if I gave you the first one as 324, could you get the next 4? So we'd have 5 altogether. Okay, and the idea will be that since this subscript is always 1 smaller than this one, always 1 smaller, a sub 2 is then going to be equal to 1/3 times a sub 1. But we know what a sub 1 is because we were given that. A sub 1 is 324. So 1/3 times 324 is 108. A sub 3 is then going to be equal to 1/3 times a sub 2. But we just found out what a sub 2 is. A sub 2 is 108. So when we take 1/3 times 108, we get 36. We can get to a sub 4 by taking 1/3 times a sub 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Not a sub 4, a sub 3, because this has to be the previous term. There we go. And we just found a sub 3 is 36. So 1/3 times 36 is 12. And finally, let's get this fifth one. A sub 5 is then going to be equal to 1/3 times a sub 4, but we just found a sub 4 is 12, so 1/3 of 12 is 4. And again, you're able to find 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, however many you need, of the terms of a recursive sequence. Okay? Alrighty. So that's kind of the basics of what we're going to do with recursive functions and sequences. Now, there's a couple other things that we can do, and depending on how much time you have when you watch this video, we can also do a couple of other things. As an example, we could take a regular sequence and we could essentially rework it so the equation, the formula, is in terms of a recursive function. Okay, so just as an example, just kind of an easy one would be something like this. If we had 42, 54, 66, 78, 80, oh, not 80, gee whiz, missed that one, 90 I meant, and so on. Okay, that's obviously just a regular sequence, but we could be asked to write this as a recursive function. Okay, now one part of that is incredibly easy. A sub 1, our starting point is just sitting right in front of us, so that's absolutely simple. But what's a little bit harder is to actually write out the rest of the formula. So how do we write that out? Well, what you have to notice is what happens when we go from the first term to the second term, second to third, third to fourth, fourth to fifth. Does anything consistent happen? And in this case, I set this one up pretty easy. Yeah, we just increased by 12. So to write this as a recursive function, all we're asking you to do is take the previous term and add 12. Right? We just take the previous term and add 12. And you can see it works, of course, because if the first one is 42, the second one we just add 12, so we get 54. The next one, add 12, we get to 66, and so on. So that's not too difficult. That's not too difficult, okay? And the last thing that you could possibly do is we could essentially go the other way around. We could do it the other way around, meaning we could give you something that's recursive, like I'll just do a nice easy one. A sub n is equal to 2 times a sub n minus 1 plus 4. And we could ask you to rewrite that as just a regular sequence using counting numbers. How would you go about doing that? Well, what you'd have to do is have a starting point. And again, let's just have a nice easy starting point like 7 or something. Okay, and then the next term we would get by taking 2 times the previous term plus 4, which gets us to 18. We take 2 times the previous term plus 4, which gets us to 40. We take 2 times the previous term plus 4 to get us to 84, and of course we could just keep that going. And then we just try to write these terms as, pardon me, as a regular, just a regular old sequence, just a simple sequence. Okay? All right, so we can try to move in both directions. Start with a recursive sequence and go to a regular sequence, or we can go the other way. Start with just a regular sequence of numbers and write it as recursive. Okay, but the most important thing, what I'm going to test you guys on, is I'll give you a recursive sequence and I'll ask you for the first 4 or 5 or 6 terms. Something fairly easy, just to kind of get you a taste for how they work. All right, so hope you're having a good day. You should have plenty of time now to open up your book and get started on the assignment. I'll be back tomorrow and we'll go over questions, plus do a few more things with recursive functions. All right, hope you're having a good day and see you tomorrow.